if you're on a map and all of a sudden you start hearing Japanese, like, oh, run! Yeah.
Nerd On.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Nerd On, the podcast you didn't need but you deserve, where heroes never die and all nerds are welcome.
Good one.
Exactly. So if you didn't get what the title was and you didn't look at what the thumbnail was and you just automatically listen to what we have to say
Played
every
Nerd
week.
On Roulette.
Exactly. We're going to talk about Overwatch. But before we do that, we're going to introduce our host of the evening, morning, whenever you're listening to this.
Yeah.
To my across from me. Nice.
To my across from me, you have Ali. And I love Overwatch.
Thank you. That's good.
So this is gonna be a fun one. I'm looking forward to this.
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Who's next?
Corey, you keep talking.
Let's see. To my left, 3 times over. Whoa!
Is that me? That's
Yeah,
me.
it's you.
Cornzo here. So,
No Cornzo mains here.
Cornzo main over here. Ready to talk about some Overwatch.
And
And across from me.
What's up, guys? I'm Josh. I'm going to be the odd man out because I'm not way into Overwatch.
Yet.
It will grow. It fester.
Apparently.
AKA he's the fair that's not flying around the map at all. and
Yeah.
Do it. So, yeah. We're talking about Overwatch.
From Blizzard. Oh, yeah.
First person shooter. First person shooter that they came out
Yeah.
with.
Team shooter.
What was it, Ali? You said their first new...
First new IP in 17 years.
Whoa.
If you don't count
17.
Heroes of the Storm.
Heroes of the Storm is... I mean, it's Dota
Yeah.
with their own characters. So, no, I don't.
Yeah. Not a new game franchise. That would be false.
Yeah.
But new intellectual property.
Yeah.
For those who are not.
Okay, I
hip
was
on
like,
the IP lingo.
IP?
Yeah.
Internet Protocol?
Yeah.
And their
And,
first FPS. So.
First FPS, it started as, well, they didn't start as, but they had been developing a MMO called Project Titan. I don't think it even had an official full name yet.
Yeah. I was on
for
that
a
hype
long
train
time.
for that.
And shout out to Blizzard for them recognizing that, hey, this game is not fun after years in development. And like
Tons of money.
tons of money thrown in there, a lot of man hours. They scrapped the entire project. And then I think they just took like some pieces from it. I think like Tracer might have been like one of those direct pulls.
Yeah.
And then they made something completely different, which became Overwatch.
Which I'm glad they did, because I enjoy myself some Overwatch.
Mm-hmm.
What if I can just start off just asking kind of what piqued your interest at first about Overwatch? I'll start with Ali.
For me, it was I'm sad about this, that I missed the beta hype train for it.
So did I.
I've tried to go back and look for like beta, like reactions, beta gameplay, and it's like really hard to find. But for me, I got into it for just watching a couple Twitch streamers that mentioned it offhand and started playing it. And they were talking about the shorts, and then I saw some of the shorts online.
The shorts are pretty amazing. Even as somebody who's not way into Overwatch, the shorts, like, here's the thing about Blizzard. Their cinematics are
On fleek.
always fucking on point.
Yeah.
On
Stupid.
fleek.
100%.
You're like, make a movie of this, and I will watch
Yeah.
it, and I will give you
I
my
don't know
money.
if you remember the original Warcraft opening cinematic, the
No.
OG one with like the dwarf and stuff. Back in the day, those graphics were legit, and I watched them recently at
They look
BlizzCon.
like Beast War
They're
graphics.
still really good. They're still really good
Yeah.
to this day, and it's been like 10 years later. So
But there was this particular short that made me like immediately go out and buy it, and it was Dragons.
oh yeah,
Like that right there, I was like, okay, I can get it. Like, I'm very much attracted to kind of like deep lore, like universe building, like
Worlds
I mean,
lived in. Yeah.
back referencing back our movies R Us episode, like,
And even Blade
that's
Runner.
what drew me into Lord of the Rings. But yeah, I immediately went out and got it, and I loved it. And I played with Zarya. It was my first pick ever, and I killed it in my first match.
Nice.
I was like, this
Nice.
is good.
I understand this at a fundamental level. Yes.
Yeah.
For me, it was kind of the same thing. I missed the beta train, but like I'm a Blizzard fanboy through and through.
Yeah.
I was on the fence. I'll be honest. When I first saw it, I was like, I don't know if this is gonna be my thing. It's like I've always said that I'm someone who's really story driven when it comes to games. And if I don't have a good story behind the game, then I'm usually not very interested. And I've returned many games due to lack of story. But the fact that they keep up with those animated shorts where they're kind of injecting story into this otherwise storyless game is really interesting, because the characters themselves, just by looking at them, like the character models, there's a lot of story there.
There's character in their faces.
Right. You want to know who these people are.
Costumes.
Yeah.
The first time I saw Junkrat, I was like, I have to know who this is. I have to know.
Well, I mean, even the opening cinematic for when you start the game, we have
With
Winston. And you're like, who's this Gorilla Grodd looking ass?
Yeah.
motherfucker?
So kind of like you said, when I started watching a few of the shorts, I think I watched the Dragons one and the Soldier 76 one. That's when I was like, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, I watched all of the ones that were available. It was just Dragons that like made me.
Yeah, for sure. So I ended up picking up the Origins edition.
Yeah.
And can't put it down. So.
Yeah.
But you played for the wrong system. Anyways, for me, I was same. I had a friend at the day job. Shout out to Taylor. And he was telling me
Taylor.
how dope Junkrat was.
Oh, Tay-Tay?
Yeah.
Oh.
And he was saying like Junkrat's so fun to use. And I Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, Halo, Gears of War. I play like shoot 'em up games. You know, I've played my fair share of online games where you could shoot things up and all that stuff. And I kind of had the same qualm at first. I was like, no story, all competitive, and
Just multiplayer.
It reminded me of like Unreal Tournament or something like that. You know, so we were just going in, shooting people up.
Team Fortress.
Yeah, and I mean, just again comparing to like Battlefront, right? There's a way to do like a no story game, just shoot 'em up online team shooter, right? Like Overwatch, and a way to do it wrong, like Battlefront, because you don't feel like anything's happening.
It's honestly, it's like shout out to them for realizing that it's like maybe the best way to tell a story isn't with a campaign.
Yeah.
You know, like we could
Interesting.
do a campaign and it would be like we have to come up with like enemy AI and like level design and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's like let's just
They do seasons, they do
what
events.
we know we can do well. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then
And they
like,
have
the
online
story,
comics,
the
too.
comics are there. You got the
Ooh, I
shorts
haven't seen
that they're still
those.
releasing on a continuous basis.
The online
are
comics
really good.
The comics are good. The Torbjorn one's really nice. I like the
Yeah.
Torbjorn
I like the
one.
Christmas one from like last year. I think it was.
Yeah.
That was really good.
But yeah, so I had a PS4 at this time, but it wasn't until I went back home for the holidays actually, and all my friends all had their PlayStation 4s. Like, Tom, you got to bring your PlayStation 4s. Like, why? Like, we're gonna play Overwatch. And I was kind of like still not sold onto it. And then I saw 5 of my friends bring their PlayStation 4s to one apartment. All of them having their own like 32-inch TV on
my
like the
God.
dining room table.
I love
on like
doing
in the
that. That
kitchen.
sounds awesome.
In like 3 of them are in the living
Doing like
room.
a
One-
LAN party type thing?
I mean, pretty much a LAN party, but it's more like destroy the Wi-Fi router party. And so they were all playing like Tom downloaded. I was like, all right. And so,
Took you
everyone
4 hours to
took me
download 'cause they're
4
all
hours.
on it.
Exactly.
Yep.
And then
And
finally, like,
$60 of your paycheck.
yeah. And then finally, 6 hours later at 2 a.m., I'm like, all right, I'll play this. Oh, okay, I like this. This is cool. Oh,
Next
Reaper
thing you
looks
knew,
dope.
it was 6 a.m. 3 days later.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was really fun.
Just one more match.
Yeah.
Just one more match.
So that's what got me into Overwatch.
Yeah.
Josh?
Okay, so like I said up front, I'm not way into Overwatch. Like pretty much everybody I know is.
Shun the non-believer.
I know. I am the odd man out.
That's
and
okay.
I know, but it's like so I'm really susceptible
welcome
to
here.
peer pressure. I am welcome here.
Oh, you are? Okay.
I'm
play it.
well, here's the thing. I have it downloaded. It's on my PS4. It is there. And
Taunting you.
taunting me. And it's always there taking up download space. But it's with this hope because I look at it, I see the cinematics. I've played it a couple of times. The character design is cool. I really love the character design. The levels are amazing.
Controls are
Yeah,
legit.
the controls are fun.
Yeah.
I just haven't had a need to play it. And me and Corey were talking about this before we started recording. He was saying one of the big things about Blizzard, and many people have said this, is that the thing about, or not about Blizzard, about Overwatch, is that this is not a game that you play by yourself.
Not for
and
me, at least. Yeah.
Many times when I'm playing video games
Yeah.
are like my escape.
Yeah.
You know, and not often do I, and I know that I'm filled with a room of Overwatch players, and not always the same console, which kind of sucks because I would love to have a nerd on Overwatch streaming, which
We'll
would
We'll
be
have a day over here.
awesome.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
But what I'm thinking is that anytime I want to play, the friends that are like, oh God, you should play aren't on. And I've got to adjust and whatnot. And that's fine. But it's like, it's not something that I've been able to play. I've played with randos and it just wasn't as fun. It's just like it's one of those things that many friends, shout out to Alex Marquise, has said it's a different kind of first person shooter. It's task oriented, which is cool. I mean,
Play
I think
the objective, yeah.
I get that, and it's interesting, but it's like I just haven't had people to play with, and I just haven't had a need. Because again, with today's culture, we are saturated with options.
Yeah.
There's so many games to play nowadays that it's like, do I want to try to invest it's like,
give me a reason to invest in your game. Over
it's like our Stranger Things episode. It's like, okay, I had to put in time to devote to Stranger Things. This is kind of like that, where I'm like, okay, I would really have to work hard, whereas I can just pop in Horizon Zero Dawn and know I'm going to be cool.
Yeah.
Or
Shoot
some
some
game
dinos.
that I'm like, I'm going to be
and like
okay.
I'm on your side on that. Like, so Overwatch is not a game that I often play alone. For me, it is a very social game.
Yeah.
It's very for a lot of various reasons. One, like a majority of the reason I play video games is to hang out with people that I don't get to because they're in different towns or cities, or it's the time that I have my single player games that I take on my own time. But for me, Overwatch is that community thing where I don't like leaving. This is gonna sound really mean, but the objective up to a bunch of people I don't know. I really like that unit feeling where I'm connected with 4 of my friends and we're you know what I mean? Like, and
because it's not all about getting kills. It's like,
it's not.
You kind of have to communicate to a degree.
Yeah. And so like working out those plays where like, hey, I'm going to go around to the back, keep them busy. And I'll go around to the back and start picking people off while my buddy's Reinhard with a shield up there, like taking the fire.
I just feel like a little kid, like the little brother that's like, hey, wait for me. Like I was playing with Tom the other day and I was like, oh, hey, guess what? I just killed somebody, because I was so fucking surprised.
Yeah.
And like sometimes I'm playing Crucible with Ali and I'm like, oh yeah, got a kill. I'm still alive.
I'm not
Ollie's like, I'm
last.
12 kills in, keep up with me.
Yeah, and then like
No,
sometimes
I'm
like Crucible's different. Destiny first person shooter is different in terms of, and we talked about that in our Destiny episode, but it's like it's very different in terms of the multiplayer aspect. Whereas Overwatch is I see that it's objective focused, whereas
And coordination is huge. in
Composition
Overwatch.
is a huge thing too. It's
Yeah.
There's strategy, and it's also you could change. Like in Destiny, you don't get the luxury of changing your loadout.
Yeah.
Right. In here, you could change. Okay, cool. No
change
one's
your
playing
entire
No
hero.
one's playing defense. I'm going to go heal.
that hero
No one's
sucks.
playing-
I'm going to do this one.
Like we have no DPS. We have no tank.
Well,
we
it doesn't
gotta
matter
jump
as
in.
much. Like Destiny is like, you can be a warlock or you can be like, you can have space magic.
It's nice to
have
have
that
also, it's like a
Titan.
gun in your hand.
Yeah.
In like Destiny, it's
you
like,
have to get
are
a
you
kill.
rocking hand cannons? Are you rocking, like
But it's like balanced so that like the time to kills are the same.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
Get in the bubble.
at the end of the day, it's like who got the jump on who.
Exactly.
There's not a whole lot of strategy to it.
And Overwatch 2 is
And
like
Overwatch is all about strategy.
I'm not really good at strategy. I'll just be very clear about that, because this one I can see, before
AKA,
a
he
match.
picks McCree all the time.
To
even
quote
if
a great man,
Yeah.
to quote a great man, you're not good yet.
Yeah.
Quoting
Oh,
you.
Yet.
okay.
Quoting you.
Yet.
Okay.
That's actually quoting like a
That's
zero.
me. That's my quote.
That's his quote.
Corey Powers.
0 from Mega Man
Yet.
X.
Yet.
You're not as strong as me, but you will be. Ooh.
But yeah, I think there is that kind of cool thing where like in Overwatch, if someone does get the jump on you, it doesn't mean it's over.
So let me ask a question.
Yeah.
What's the big deal?
I mean,
what?
Well, before you ask that,
Okay.
to set up to give you a little insight, as you know, I have a YouTube Destiny channel.
Yeah.
What?
Wait.
It's crazy. Yeah. I know.
What?
Overwatch was actually there was a period last year, as of the posting of this episode, where I was kind of burnt out on Destiny, and like Overwatch, I played Overwatch just as much, if not more, than Destiny, because it was like different enough for me to where it was a break from Destiny. Was
Yeah.
playing Overwatch, so that I
It
don't
is
know
a
if that helps,
substantial
Yeah.
break.
it's different enough of a pace and a kind of a game.
Well,
where-
what's the big deal? What keeps?
Well,
why
I
is
mean-
it? Because it's still a big deal. It's almost. I mean, it's pretty much an e-sport now, where people
Yeah.
are making
Yeah.
money from
It's not
it.
pretty much it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
Blizzard
true.
built a arena.
I mean, I think the big thing is it's growing. that they're adding new characters, that they're using the PTR, their server where they test out nerfs and buffs and for the new characters, and they add new abilities. Like D.Va didn't have her rocket barrage, and by the time this comes out, or by the time anyone listens to this 20, 40 years from now, it could be all different.
Yeah,
like there could be different characters where
there is no D.Va anymore.
They might just
how much is that going to cost you?
Free 90 free.
That's the cool thing. It's like it's going to be continuously supported with new content
for free.
I mean, we don't know for how long, but like, I don't see them ever like.
I mean, I think that's what's interesting about it. Is
or something, but
yeah.
To answer your question, what's so appealing? Because on paper, it doesn't sound appealing, right? It's cycling through predestined maps, right? With the same characters, with the same objectives all the time.
Yeah.
On paper, that sounds really boring.
Yeah.
But in reality, there's a ton of variety. So for me, a big appeal is the time.
Okay.
So for me, I don't always have an hour or two to throw away on Warcraft.
You do quick play.
Right? So I'll jump on quick play and play around for 15 minutes. Be like, oh, I have time for one more, play a half hour, and I've gotten my fill. Right? I've done 2 matches. I've earned enough rewards. I can maybe open a loot box, something like that. And that's rewarding to me. To be able to have a game where I can sit down for 20 minutes and grind out a round or something like that, or during the holiday events, like I can do the team play thing real quick. Like it's great. Time wise, to me, it makes a lot of sense.
I honestly feel like it could pretty much satisfy almost every kind of gamer except probably the solo players. So I mean, I'm very much like you, where it's like if I don't have anyone to play with, I'll probably just put in like a first person game and get lost in that world. But I usually play with my friend Ian from back home. Shout out to Ian. And we literally drink beers, talk a bunch of shit, talk about life and stuff like that, and just play. And then we have this running joke where every single time someone gets to play the game, pretty much like the best, kill streak or something like that made the game, it's either him or me gets killed by that person.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not play a game if I ain't died in it.
Yep.
But I mean, you got arcade, which will change based on season. So I mean, during the holiday they have the Junkenstein's Revenge. During the winter time they'll have the Yeti Hunter now, which is pretty new. During the Olympics time they'll have like some kind of sport based thing as well.
The Lucio Ball was phenomenal,
which is very much like Rocket League.
Yep.
Yeah, very much
Halo,
like Rocket League. And you have competitive, where you could then go against these top tiered ass people around the world, which is fucking ridiculous. And it's just so it appeals to that side of the gamer for some people. Quick play for very casual if you don't mind just getting into a skirmish with other people.
My other favorite thing was that when I really got into the game was when I discovered the arcade mode of I forget what the title is, but where you get random heroes. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Mystery Heroes.
Mystery Heroes.
Yeah, we call it Mystery
Cheerios. I
Cheerios.
hate that.
And it made me play characters I never thought I would love.
Yeah.
Like I was much like Josh. Like when I first got it, my buddies had been playing it for a long time. I picked the one character over again because I was like, oh, I think this is the only guy I'm gonna like. Or I'd play a new character and someone who was crazy in the game, like played the game since the alpha, would destroy me, and I would think that character was bad, but in reality, I just hadn't had enough experience playing as it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing about Mystery Heroes is that's really when my interest was like, oh shit. Like there's more than one hero that I like, and I'm being forced to cycle through them.
Yeah.
I don't get to choose.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, but I mean, one thing too is it's like the other day, you and I were playing, me and Tom, and
playing Yeti Hunter.
I was celebrating when I wasn't dying because, okay, so I can only handle losing so much. So it's like Crucible. I'm not going to be like, hey, I'm going to get on Destiny so I can play some Crucible so I can die every 2 seconds.
That's one
Overwatch, my favorite character. It's like I was playing with McCree every round the other day because I wasn't dying.
That's fine.
2 seconds in. And I was like, okay, I can handle this. Okay, cool, sweet.
Here's the thing with that, though, is that it's almost, in that sense, it's almost a discredit to call it a first-person shooter, because you get that mentality of like, I need to get this many kills, I need to get this many like losses or whatever. And even though you can get a gold medal for eliminations, there's a reason it's called eliminations and not kills.
Yeah.
It's because it's if you helped do this thing.
Yeah.
You know, not necessarily if you're the one who got the last bullet in or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can play a support character like Mercy, and like maybe after the latest updates, you can probably get some kills now. But like before, it's like maybe you'd go the entire match without a single kill. But
I was pretty good with Battle Mercy with the little pistol, though. I'm just saying.
But the whole idea is that you're there to help your team get an objective done.
Yeah.
And at the end of the match, there's no way to look to see like let's see how many eliminations Josh got at the end of this match. It's like it doesn't give you that.
No one's
data.
trying to be LeBron James.
No one looks
trying to be
right.
the MVP. Like
Yeah.
we're all trying
you're
to get
gonna
to this
have
point.
your
It
DPS
promotes
guys.
team play.
Right. You're gonna have your DPS guys like your McCrees and your Tracers that are gonna go out there and get
Soldiers,
kills and your tanks and stuff like that.
And like I said, I played the same character for most of it until I discovered that. And I think that was a great way to get mechanics of the game down, is to play as one character for a while. And I think that you're doing it exactly right, is what my point
And
is.
typically most
By
people,
not playing it.
Did you scoff at me?
I think most people
Scoff at
usually
my Hanzo skills?
start with DPS characters to begin with.
Yeah.
So my first DPS was Reaper because he looks badass and he's got fucking.
Me too. Mine was Reaper.
Yeah, barrel shotgun.
I started with
scream.
tanks.
Oh really?
Yeah. I started we'll go over this in a
Yeah.
minute, but I started with Zarya. That was my first pick just because I thought she looked awesome. And then the second character I picked was Diva, and she became my favorite character in the entire game.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, with that as well, like the cool kind of thing is like once you technically start becoming a little bit more veteran and seasoned playing the game, you start looking at what other people are picking, and you can then also
why.
you can start filling in for them.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I have a team full of people who want to do attack. I have to either tank or defend or just heal.
Support.
Typically, you just go heal,
Which is my other favorite class is support.
But it's kind of like you start figuring out like how good and
Zenyatta all
in
day.
a weird way. It's kind of like you put yourself in that mentality of like, I'm not the leader, but I need to support and help, but I also need to like be flexible and know how to play other characters too.
Yeah.
Instead of like kind of like, oh, Modern Warfare, I'm going to be a camping asshole and just be over here.
It's about like, do you win? Did you win or did you lose?
Yeah.
And if you lost, why did you lose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
And-
that's why I
and
like
dying
campaign or
doesn't
story
always
driven games.
necessarily-
Sorry. What I was going to say is like there's a campaign or a story like Horizon Zero Dawn. I keep referencing in it because
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite games. Is that it had a campaign, it had a
game.
story. There wasn't
Yeah.
really a multiplayer. It was just that's the thing about multiplayer is it's like I don't really like winning or losing. I just want to play. And so I know that I'm kind of a wussy when
Just
it comes
wait,
to that.
You'll have that one time where you'll pull off your ult and you'll kill like 6 guys. You'll have a team kill all by yourself.
Yeah.
It'll be
You'll
a
feel
great feeling.
Yeah,
And
it'll
that's
click.
when it'll click.
But I mean,
That's when it'll click.
and be fair about it. Like if you just think about it, every single person that's a top tier character went through their million death, like
Yeah.
millions and millions
yeah.
of deaths and eliminations, and sucked and was terrible at the game. I mean, like, I mean, you're probably the highest rank in this room right now, right? Like you prestiged. And that's a really cool thing too. The whole avatar thing, you can have like a silver or bronze or gold wreath around your character avatar.
Yeah.
And that shit doesn't matter. It literally is just there for bragging rights so that you can show that how much you've played.
It's how long you've been playing.
Exactly. And like you can have people who've played fucking like months and years in terms of like hours they've played.
Yeah.
And they could be garbage.
Yeah.
They could be literal garbage. It doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
And there's no way to tell if someone's gonna be really good or not. I mean, you kind of get the idea of like, 10,000 hours, you're probably good at it. But
For me,
there's
I
nothing
didn't
like
start
that.
caring about getting better until competitive.
Yeah.
And this is the same thing with Iron Banner in Destiny 1. The first Iron Banner made me actually care about getting better at the Crucible.
Yeah.
With Overwatch, I didn't start caring about getting better until competitive, and like I was like,
You
"Ooh,
get gold weapons.
I want to win so I can like get the skill points or whatever, and it made me start like finding the characters that I'm really good with and how I can contribute. And a lot of times, like almost half the time in competitive, I'll pick like either Lucy or Mercy, who are the healers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
like,
and
I'm
you
not there to
kind
get
of
kills.
quote unquote you let the sharks do all the killing.
Right.
Let all the like really badass
I'm there to
people
keep
do all
you
the stuff.
safe.
Yeah.
I got you.
And another kind of big thing that kind of appeals to me is the MMO RPG factor of it. When like to me, I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to MMOs.
We already knew that.
Just because I love
You're a snob.
I love the bragging rights kind of portion of it. So like when you get really dope things, like new skins and stuff like that, it's like I got the new Cold Heart skin. I got the new Frigid skin. I got the Jack-o'-lantern skin. Like when the new seasons come out and the new skins come out, it's like probably one of the greatest things when you get like a new skin to like really pretty much like rock the fact that like you've been playing really hard this season and you got like some new avatar shit.
Look at my present.
Yeah, I mean,
It's dope. You
essentially
look sexy as fuck.
The
I'm
game,
gonna say that.
a lot of the game is about bragging rights. Like that's kind of what it is. Like
The
look at my
gold
shit.
weapons.
You get
Yeah.
play the game. You get gold medals at the end of it. Whoever like performed the quote unquote best. I mean,
But it doesn't. I mean, ultimately, the goal of the game is to just futz around for as many matches as you want. and have fun. And that's kind of how I take it. Like I don't really play competitive as much. I play arcade most of the time, and I love the game. And like that's fine. That's where I found I love the game. I've done competitive.
I play a lot of Mystery Heroes.
Yeah, it was fun and it was challenging and competitive. I played for one of the seasons or whatever it was, got placed and everything, and it was great. But I found it wasn't where I was happiest. So I found Mystery Heroes is where
Which, by the
find
way,
that
I'm almost
happiest.
convinced that you can't win on defense with Mystery Heroes.
No, you can't. But it's it's about finding
Just a bunch
the
of
part of the game.
tracers and sombras.
It's about finding part of the game that speaks to you, and that's why they have so many different modes. Is it's open to as many players.
Is
as
it
they can.
okay if it doesn't?
Yeah.
If it doesn't speak to me?
Yeah,
Or appeal
yeah.
to me?
No, yeah, that's
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
fine.
You're
You
welcome.
keep adding this yet, and here's the thing: is it's like I got to play with Tom the other night. That was cool, or the day, and it's like we all have. This is the thing about video games that really pisses me off. I love video games, but every video game needs to be cross-platform.
Yeah.
It's like I
Oh,
just
yeah.
recently got an Xbox, and my
Make
little,
it happen, y'all.
Microsoft extended the olive branch.
They did.
It's up
but
to Sony at this point.
my little brother,
Bastards.
my little brother has had an Xbox for years and years and years, and I've had a PlayStation.
He's
I've always
smart,
been a
that's why.
PlayStation guy.
That's why he's the little
We're not
brother, right?
playing who's better, whose dick is bigger. We're playing like I just don't understand. Like I want to be able to pop on and be like, okay, my little brother's playing Ghost Recon Wildlands on Xbox. Oh, I'm playing it on PS, or Corey's on, or whatever. It's like, oh, Ali's playing Overwatch on his PC tonight. Okay, well, I can still play with him.
Yeah.
I just don't fucking understand. Like, now I have an Xbox, and now I have to decide, do I really want to buy this game so I can play? But now, in this one room,
We don't have
two either way. I can
Yeah,
either
we don't
play.
have a full
I can
match.
either play with Ollie and Tom on PS4, or I can play with Corey and Ali on Xbox. And it's
Yeah.
like, what? I mean, why? I want to.
It doesn't make a whole lot
I
of
just
sense,
want to be
man.
able to play.
It's just
Competition.
consumerism. Yeah, it's
Competition. yeah.
It's. I mean, I think it might even be less competition. It's more. I mean,
It
like
should be
'cause-
about
because
cooperation.
even Blizzard doesn't allow you to play it on the Xbox and PC. Like you have to choose one still, even though they're both Microsoft.
There is, like I can see between PC and console there are legitimate reasons as to why, because like frame rates and like you can be better at
Yeah.
a game if you have a better
But
frame rate.
PlayStation
than me.
and Xbox need to get on.
PlayStation
They
and
did
Xbox,
Rocket League,
there's no
and it was
reason.
a huge success.
Yeah. The
Come
last game
on,
that I
you-
remember was Final Fantasy 11.
Everyone write Sony right now and ask them to accept the olive branch that Microsoft has extended for cross.
Come on, you corporate guys.
Although I will say,
Silly.
I kind of feel like if you connect your accounts with Blizzard, that your loot box unlocks should sync across.
Yeah, it doesn't though. It
doesn't.
sucks.
We can talk about loot boxes too.
Not
But
happy.
Yeah, we'll get into loot boxes. But
something I want to mention, and I think could bring up a next topic, is you guys were talking about Mystery Heroes. One of my
Yeah.
favorite like arcade matches was the Super Shimano Bros, which is definitely like a hint to Super Smash Bros.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
the thing is, you could only play as Hanzo and Genji, which obviously I'm gonna play Genji because
and obviously I'm gonna play Hanzo because fuck Genji.
Genji's the
Oh
good
my
brother.
God.
They're both good.
No.
Read their lore, Tom.
No.
They're both good.
Speaking and then going into the lore,
Which apparently you don't know because Hanzo's
fuck
good.
that. No, Hanzo fucked shit up, and then Genji's like, "Yo, dog." Well, I mean, Genji was part of like Blackwatch before, right? So,
Yeah.
are we at that point? Can we talk about the story?
Yeah, I think
yeah,
so.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is to me one of the
The
appealing.
story or the stories?
I mean, it's the overarching story, right?
Oh, yeah.
Of like, so to me,
Why are we here? Why is Overwatch here?
well, to me, like when my friend kind of explained it, I think this is what sold me. He's like, think of it like Avengers, and then 20 years later, it's like, what?
Yeah.
So like
Okay.
the Omnic Crisis happened, and all these robots started invading the world, and then all these heroes banded together to create Overwatch, and then Overwatch was there to to be the resistance, and they even like were there. It was cool because like they had social commentary of like certain Omnics were trying to find peace, like the Zenyatta type Omnics.
Yeah. There was like a Dalai Lama Omnix that gets killed by Black Widow.
And then Black Widow, right? So that's part of another group called Talon, or Blackwater. Oh man, Blackwatch. Blackwatch was like
It's like Black Water.
Blackwater.
Oh my God.
Blackwatch was like the splinter covert ops
It
group.
was covert ops that ended up turning.
So Soldier, I feel like this is kind of cool. We can kind of explain to Josh, but
I'm the little brother.
Yeah.
Tell me a story.
Reaper.
Reaper and Soldier 76 were both like vying for pretty much to be the leader of Overwatch, but
Okay.
then somehow, some way, the guy Reaper Reyes ends up becoming just pretty much the leader of Blackwatch, and it's like the covert ops group. But then at the very like they they have a dispute, and then it's both shows that they're both quote unquote dead. They're both known as dead, and then so years later, when Winston's trying to bring all the heroes back because Doomfist and all these other Talon terrorists pretty much are taking over, as well as like the budding like tensions of Omnics living amongst us, amongst the robots, pretty much. He tries to bring Overwatch back together, and then that's when all these heroes who quote unquote died are coming back from the dead, because it's kind of assumed that Mercy brings them all back, right? Like Mercy quote unquote brought Genji back.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of that cool stuff, like that's not even shown in cinematic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
and
great.
then a bunch of new people.
It's not shown in cinematic yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we just gonna add yet?
Well, I mean, that
at
one
the
I
end?
think is we're going to see eventually. We don't have a Mercy short yet.
Right.
So I mean, is there other parts that I'm missing that we want to talk about? Like,
I mean, I would recommend people just go check out all the shorts. There's so many that are beautiful. I mean, the May one made me cry.
We talked about the dragons.
Dragons, right?
Talks about Hanzo and Genji.
They're brothers, yeah.
And the funniest part of all, and I'm pretty sure the developers have said this, that the game is not canon to the universe
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they wouldn't be fighting each other, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, because you were telling the story, and I was like, "Why are we fighting?"
Yeah.
No.
Marvel
The
vs.
stories
Capcom,
are
baby.
stories, and the game is
Yeah.
just like, hey, look at all of them.
Yeah, but look at them go using their powers.
Oh, remember all the guys from the videos?
It's like a Marvel versus Street Fighter game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Marvelous Capcom, as I call it.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is kind of like, Heroes of Storm or Dota. Like, it gives you a bit of a backstory, so you feel a little bit more connected to these characters that you're playing with. So, I mean, like, if you get really good with McCree, if you get really good with Diva, you learn more about them. And it feels just that much more.
They have like dialogue if they're in the same room.
Yeah. And that's works together. I mean, so before Sombra came out, you would hear Reaper always say, like, this is where we need Sombra. And it's like, who the fuck is Sombra?
Yeah.
And it's like these nice little Easter eggs that they're like, oh, I can't wait.
They have this shit well thought out. And there was like a whole online thing when Anna was coming out as well.
Yeah.
Where people found in videos if they paused it at the right spot.
Well, the Temple of Anubis. No, in the Temple of Anubis, you can.
That's what it was.
In the attack base, if you go in the back, there's a picture of her in her like blue helmet outfit, and you're like, who's that,
this?
baby? And I never thought that was Sombra at first, and they're like, oh shit, that's Anna.
Yeah.
And like, who's Anna? That's Farah's mom. And you're like, oh my god, there's a connection.
Yeah.
And so things like that, where like you could hear where these characters are connecting. Kind of like to me, where I felt like Soul Calibur. Where like there's this cool fighting game, but then you realize like Cervantes is like Ivy's mom, and like Raphael and Amy have a relationship, and Siegfried and Nightmare, and so all these kind of things where it's just nice world building kind of things where it makes you feel that like you're playing it, you're enjoying it, but then there's these things in the back of your head, which again I compared it to Battlefront, where it's like Battlefront you just have the movies and the shows to kind of like give you that richness,
right?
But they don't do much other than that, so it's like there's no online cinematics other than the trailer and the opening, but with Overwatch,
they have the freedom to make their own universe.
and then add
based
characters.
on the game.
I mean, like, so we talked about dragons. One of my favorite shorts was the one for Doomfist. And so Doomfist is breaking out of the prison, and it was the first one that's more of like a cartoon animation, and it was done like an anime, and was super dope. And that one, and kind of like what we're talking about, like with dragons, where the map gets affected by the cinematic, where like the arrow is still there.
Oh yeah.
Like
Hanamura.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not Hanamura.
The
Numbani.
Numbani, yeah.
The airport.
Oh yeah,
all
when it got
the-
destroyed.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so Arista is this like centaur robot thing you could use, and she's a tank. And then like she's one of the units that are defensive Omnics.
Yeah, she was like based on the technology.
Yeah. So I mean,
I
it's
think it's nice that you have good ones too, like Bastion and Zenyatta. And
Bastion's short is pretty much like a Pixar movie where
my
you just
God.
cry and cry.
it's like the first 10 minutes of Up.
and
It's
cry and
The
cry.
Reinhardt one.
Oh
Where,
man.
like,
my
you finally
God.
know the body and at the end of the map. And
It
it's like,
shows the history of Eichenwald and all
Yeah.
that, and then it's got the Balder armor.
It was beautiful. Seeing that in a room of 30,000 people at BlizzCon
Which-
was like
I'm
and so-
sure.
super
I'm
moving.
jealous.
And so that's what I love is seeing the cinematics take place in the maps you play.
Yeah.
And so I mean, one of the funniest running memes was like, "I'll never see this map the same way again."
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, and like so. I mean, like cool thing. One was really cool is when they introduced Winston, Tracer, Reaper, and Widowmaker when they're in the museum with the Doomfist helmet or gauntlet.
Yeah.
And it just you see how the teams are working together. So it's like, if you had Reaper and Widowmaker, and I don't know who else would be Sombra. Yeah.
Yeah.
They would be like, oh, this is Team Talon right here.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see where the teams are and all that stuff. So like, Winston and Tracer like have a close relationship.
Yep.
And like learning about like, so Tracer has a blink ability where she can blink, forward in time
Teleport,
and then
essentially.
teleport and then reverse all those blinks back and regain health. Some of the lore behind that was
That's
that
cool.
Yeah, it's really helpful.
she was
Except she doesn't regain health in Heroes of the Storm. It's really frustrating.
Oh,
the lore behind that was that she was practicing with like time travel or something like that, and then
Something,
her modulator like got messed up. And the thing is that she was living through time like a million miles an hour. Well, she couldn't interact with anybody, and it was Winston that saved her. Winston like put that
Interesting.
modulator
he
so that
built
she
that
could
thing around her.
yeah, so she can actually live like amongst us but still blink.
Got it.
Which is
I didn't
like
know that at all.
and so
That made it so much cooler.
yeah, and so like
made it way cooler.
And so in the short where Widowmaker is shooting down that Zenyatta like Omnic
Yeah.
and shoots and Tracer has to like defend and not take the bullet, it's because she's not gonna want to go back in. And when the Doomfist short came out and he destroys the modulator and then Winston uses ult and goes crazy monkey mode. So
Goes ham.
yeah. So I mean like this stuff like that, it's like, oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. Sorry.
It's okay. I kind of want to. Speaking of characters, do we all have favorites?
Oh, I mean, I have favorites.
Sure.
I have multiple favorites.
There's Grumpy Josh over there.
I'm not a grump. I'm
Yeah.
not grump.
Why don't
Just
we
say
name?
Diva's your favorite.
Yeah, there you go.
I love Diva.
Why don't we start with like a favorite and then who's your main? Doesn't have to be your favorite. Doesn't have
I
to
got
be
a
your
couple
main.
of favorites in
Go
it.
for it. Let's hear them.
So I mean, like Reaper, Edgelord, Supreme, Young Saiyan Dog.
Yeah.
He's just dark and evil looking, skull
emo,
face,
yeah.
emo as fuck. And he's a brown man. I mean, like finally.
The when Muse played at BlizzCon, he wore a Reaper mask
Dope.
throughout the whole concert. It's
Shout out
really
to Muse.
cool.
Yeah, I mean, I love Reaper. The Reaper character is super dope. I play with Junkrat, Torbjorn, and Diva the most. I didn't start playing with Diva until actually Ali, you said you play with Diva so much. I was like, I'm gonna play it, and then I was like, oh, unlimited bullets. I don't ever need to reload.
No
the thing
reason
is,
to get off the R trigger.
yeah, I started becoming a little bit more aggressive. I started using the boost where I could like launch to them, and it does damage when you boost into them and just shoot them.
you
So
finish
I'm
them
like,
off.
yeah, so I'm like, okay, I'm cool with this. Genji, he's a favorite character. Like I love his story.
Yeah,
Um,
I've been trying to get really good with him, but he's hard.
yeah.
It's hard to play.
It
as.
is hard. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the one great thing is with his deflect, and all of a sudden, again, if you're on a map and all of a sudden you start hearing Japanese, like, oh, run!
Either two of those guys. If you just start hearing someone shouting Japanese, you just run.
Like, oh no!
Just get out of the way of whatever it is.
That
'cause
happened to
it's
us.
either double dragons or a dragon sword, and you just get out of there.
Which is funny because it just kind of reminds me of like anime, and this is how you know an anime is when they use their finishing move, they have to say the move.
Oh yeah, of course.
Kamehameha, Final Blast, like they have to say the move. I like Reinhardt. I really like him.
Grind fart.
If I were to pick a healer, like my favorite healer that I use Lucio.
Lucario.
I don't know. I like Zenyatta.
Zendaya.
Zenyatta is really cool, especially with his new cultist skin. Is really dope.
Oh, yeah. Skull
yeah.
Yada or
no, cultist skin.
cultist.
He's got like a Cthulhu face going on.
Yeah. But who's your main?
My main? I mean, it's probably Junkrat and Diva. are probably
Junkrat
my
and
main.
Diva. Do you have a main healer?
Main healer is probably Lucio or Zenyatta.
All
The
right.
thing is, I like to be offensive. It's weird with characters that shouldn't be offensive. I like to be offensive with people
Yeah.
who are offensive. I'd be very defensive with. I don't know why. Like so, Torbjorn, I'm like, cool. Here's this thing. I'm gonna go out and shoot with my like blunderbuss gun. And then with Zenyatta, like, you know, talking to like many of the vetted players now, like Zenyatta is not a great team healer.
No.
Zenyatta is I'm a heal, but also I'm attack and
I'm
kill
attack.
kill some
He's
people.
a secondary
Yeah,
support.
you need to
character.
have him with a Mercy. You need to
Yeah.
have him with like a Lucio or something like that. So
Yeah.
All right. I dig that.
Yeah, I mean, I think all the really cool main characters that have like a good story to them are all pretty much like your DPS guys.
Uh-huh.
Like 76 has a good story, but yeah, I'll let you guys go.
Yeah, I have my favorites are Hanzo, Genji, Soldier, and Zenyatta. And actually, Roadhog. I love Roadhog.
Oh my God,
I
Roadhog.
love Roadhog is my main tank.
I love
for
how
days.
Roadhog and Junkrat are always paired together,
Yeah.
like Bulk and Skull, but they're just this Mad Max looking guys, you know?
That chain hook pull in with a shotgun is like the best thing
so
in the
satisfying.
world. It's the most when you hook it from really far too.
You get 'em.
Or when you get a Pharah who's taken off and you just pull her back down. It's
Yep.
the best feeling in the
But then
world.
also like when he has his ult and he's just, just
Oh, yeah.
it's like, oh my God.
Like
And
Java, there's all
you
Java
have
the
to
Hutt.
also reel it in. You can like as much as he is.
Oh yeah, because he starts going up. You have to
Yeah.
like.
But the thing is, I
Keep
hate
it
is like
steady.
if you're just within blasting range, you're like, I'm gonna get pushed off the edge, aren't I?
Yep.
Yes.
It's
Yep,
like,
yep,
no.
yep.
Oh, my God, that's the worst.
Hanzo is my main guy. I started with Reaper. I played a game and then I discovered Hanzo. I have this like affinity and obsession for bow and arrows in games. So like I don't know if anyone played Resident Evil 5.
No.
Yeah,
Who said yes?
I did.
Okay, because we have headphones on, so I just heard a lot of no's and one yes. So I always played with my buddy Dustin. I was the girl, and I got the bow and arrow.
Oh yeah.
And I went ham with that thing.
Yeah.
Like I could headshot people from across the map with it, and it was unlimited arrows. And
When
it was
bows
one...
and arrows are in games that otherwise only have guns,
Yep.
they always feel really satisfying.
So that's why I play Hanzo all the time. I like Soldier 76. I was sold on because of his short film, his little short,
Yeah.
where you see him come save that girl.
Save the girl. Yeah.
And he's got that badass voice where he's always like, what's that one line? The I'm not wearing hockey pads.
God.
Holy shit.
It's that line that gets me every time.
That Spike Spiegel voice saying,
I was gonna
That
do the
line.
thing that I do always at work. It's just like, I didn't start this war,
But I'm gonna finish.
I'll just say that randomly. for no reason.
But
Oh
and my
my
healer,
God.
my healer used to be Zenyatta, but then I discovered Mercy, and that changed the game for me.
Mercy's Bay for me.
I will
Yeah.
no longer. Gone are the days of me choosing DPS. I go straight for Mercy right off the bat because not only can you, I mean, now with the update, it's stupid.
Oh yeah.
Her
She's
update's
incredible.
insane, and that might
Phoenix
change by the
fire
time you
mode.
by the
I
time
love
you
that
listen.
mode. It's so good.
But even just the basic of like being able to choose someone or to get on a bastion and double his damage for as
yeah.
long as he wants.
And just saw people down.
Yeah.
I just hide behind
Yeah.
Bastion in the bush.
Oh my god! I remember we were playing the Omnic Crisis campaign thing, and it was me, Dustin, and Mikey. Shout out to them. And I was Mercy, he was Bastion, and Mikey was I call her Chorizo, Orisa. So he sets up Bastion, he throws a shield down, and I just do double damage, and
Oh
we
my
killed
God.
that thing.
Done.
It was
Oh my
stupid.
You're done.
See, and so those are the cool compositions you can have and stuff like that. So it's,
Yeah, because Bastion sits there and he turns into a minigun, but he has no defense and he can't move at that point. So to have a teammate who can throw a shield down in front of him and then me be behind him, either healing him or giving him double damage, it's like it's broken as fuck.
get through
I'll be
this
honest.
wall, baby. Get
It's
through this
broken.
wall.
Yeah.
If I were playing on the other team and I saw that, I'd be
Fuck
like,
it.
I'm gonna go somewhere else. That's what I'm gonna do.
And usually at those moments, it's kind of like who's got a diva, who's got their ult,
Who's got the Farah maybe? Or,
Yeah.
or who's got the like with the gravity well or something like that for his
Yeah,
Zarya.
exactly.
Or who's got Hanzo? Thank you.
No.
Anyway, moving
Or
on.
Reinhardt.
Ali,
Get in there.
Ali, favorites in main. I mean,
So
we
my
know.
favorite character, and this is probably one of my favorite characters in like everything,
Wow,
is
it was a well-made character.
is Diva.
Mm-hmm.
I love everything about this character. Super fascinated with it.
she's like a 15-year-old girl, right, or something like
Her
that.
lore is that in-game lore is that she is like 15 or something.
Yeah,
But she is the world's best StarCraft player.
yeah.
Like that's her actual like
That's awesome.
that she was so good that the Korean
yeah.
army hired her to pilot a mech for the Korean
Yeah,
army.
yeah.
Like everything about that
It's
is
dope.
incredible.
Super
She has-
meta. Super
I
meta.
was just gonna
meta.
say super meta. Wow.
She has like sponsors and like she's a streamer. So like one of her emotes, like her sit emote, is her like sitting. Her mech sits down, but then she pulls up like a
video game.
holographic projection of a video game, and it's totally her streaming too because there's a chat log.
Yep.
On like the right side.
Oh my
And it's
God.
like this
one of her
and she's
hero-
eating
so really,
Doritos and a
you
soda.
identify.
Yeah, she's like a
Yeah.
cup holder.
One of her
Did you-
highlights is her taking a selfie stick while something blows up in the
I was
background.
gonna say that's
Yes.
my favorite. When I
I
got
love that
I got
one.
that in my first loot box, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god!"
Yeah.
And then like one of her voice chats, whatever she can say, she's like winky face. I was
Winky
like,
face.
oh my
And she
God.
speaks Korean and stuff like
yeah.
in the
Yep.
game. Nerf this.
it's
and
those
that's a
kind of
whole,
things,
like
too.
that's another meta thing of like nerf this to like any developers that would nerf an ability that's
Yep.
overpowered, and it's like I just
It's
love
just
everything.
super
about it.
meta
I could
character.
geek out about her all day, But that's not the favorite character that I like to play as now. Well, she's kind of my favorite tank, but I've been more into Reinhardt recently.
Yeah.
Because I'm just really enjoying like being really effective with building his ult and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like when you get into it,
And it just feels good to throw that shield up and have your team behind you and just like slowly walk.
But it doesn't feel
forward.
good to throw that shield up and then you're like fighting against like 5 DPSs and you just see 1500 go down to 600.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
oh
a terrible
god!
feeling.
Now, speaking of, we were talking about solo queues. I played a lot solo. And so I had to kind of like, I was watching some stuff of like, funny enough, I would watch YouTube videos on how to be a better solo player. And it's like, you kind of have to lean into your team a little bit. Like if they're doing something really stupid and going off, like the Reinhardt's going off and flanking for some reason.
You gotta go with
them.
You gotta go.
You gotta, or else you'll fail. And it's like, you gotta pick up, do that.
If your friend's
It's a whole
playing,
different strategy than when you play with your friends.
Yeah.
if your
and
friend's
I've
just playing
noticed-
McCree and he's just shooting things around, you gotta go with.
You gotta go.
Come on, man. Come on.
But I
This
found
is
that
not the hour of let's bitch on Josh.
what would
No,
be
it's let's
entertaining.
shit on Josh. That's
Yeah,
what
let's-
But I would, what I would do is realize that when I was playing comp solo, which is a terrible experience, but I still did it because I love the game. Anytime I wasn't Mercy, we would have a significantly less time or less chance of winning. So I'm like, God damn it, I got to be Mercy just to like
for the
do it
comp,
right
yeah.
or whatever. And so I quickly became a huge fan of Mercy. But my favorite player in the entire game, for me, Symmetra is also really good. I love playing Symmetra. You can do some damage.
I
with
got
those
some
turrets.
questions about it.
My number one thing is like build up that ult as fast as possible to get the teleporter. Or
I'm
the
so
shield or whatever.
garbage with Symmetra. It's unreal.
I love
I'm
like
so trash with her.
you got to just go put him
Me
right
too,
at the
Corey.
entrance.
Me
right
too.
at the entrance.
I call it so one of the achievements you get is called car wash.
Yeah.
And you get all the turrets lined up and you have to shoot the 6. So it's like 6 turrets and your beam, and
Yeah.
that's when you can get it, and you have to get a kill. And
So
that's
when
the
I
thing.
get her on Mystery Heroes, I jump off an edge. That's how bad
totally
I am with her.
understandable.
It's way more beneficial for me to take the 5-second hit or whatever it is and come back as a different character
Yeah.
than it is for me to try to do something with Symmetra.
I'll do that with some characters depending on like what's going on.
Yeah, depending on the comp, yeah.
But my favorite character in the game is Pharah. Like I just found that I'm the most effective with her.
I think really good Pharaohs are really
Justice reigns
My-
from above.
Yes, my longest elimination streak is with Pharah, which is 28
Wow.
in one
Jeez.
life, and that was just because it was just a match on I think it was Numbani, like towards the end of the last point. No one
could get past.
no
you.
one paid attention to me in the sky. No one tried to get me down. No
yes,
one was shooting at me.
And so that's the thing is like you need to like have a soldier on you, like shooting at you. So
Yeah.
that's,
Around that
there's some
turn
antis,
on Numbani, if you're familiar, there's like that perch you can kind of go up in the trees. I would go up there for a while, and then like it was post the patch where you can pretty much stay in the air forever. So I would just stay in the air forever, and I got really good at like managing. Like I mapped the keys, the jump and the fuel
you
pack
remapped
right
them, yeah.
to where I never had to touch the ground at all. And
It's
I
like
kinda-
right after that
I got
bridge,
really
right?
into a groove.
That's
yes.
broken. They changed it. They changed it. Don't worry, Josh.
Oh gosh.
But
But yeah,
I want to, Josh, your characters.
No, I was gonna say, since you said you don't really have one, I'd like
well,
to
I was
maybe-
gonna say I would play. So far, I've played as McCree and Soldier 76.
Right. And
Badass.
so
And
my-
Pharah, I did play as her, and I was
Yeah.
like, damn.
since
Yes.
since you've only played as 3, what inspired you to just change the question to fit you a little more? What inspired you to pick McCree right off the bat? Or Soldier?
Because he says, I'll be your Huckleberry.
Because I like cowboys.
That's it. That's all you have to say. That's fine. Because that was the reason
McCree
I
is a
picked him
badass.
first.
Like looking at him, and then Soldier 76. I don't know. He shoots.
I'm also like I'm a fan of snipers, like
Yeah.
in games. So
McCree's pretty much a sniper.
he
too,
is.
though.
No, he is.
Basically, yeah.
McCree and Hanzo. Oh, man,
Widowmaker.
all day.
Shout out to Widowmaker. But I want to add on top favorite skin.
Oh,
I'm not even gonna be able to contribute.
yours would be the red, white, and McCree
Okay.
skin.
America. McCree.
Oh, that's my favorite McCree skin.
My-
for days.
my favorite
His
McCree
shawl is an American
So
flag. and
there's
it's
one where
badass.
he's wearing like 1920s like zoot suit. Where
Oh my gosh.
And he
Are
has
you
one
talking
in-
about the gambler? Oh no,
he has a yellow one and a black one. And so when me and my friends play with the yellow ones, like it's the Hamburglar
Oh my god.
or it's the mask.
it's supposed to be. It's called the outlaw. And he's
Yeah.
supposed to look like that.
Yeah.
Here's the American flag McCree. He looks pretty fucking.
Oh man.
And his
That
gun's
is
all
pretty
red, white, and blue
badass.
too.
the Beach Boy McCree is probably
Oh yeah, the beach.
Yeah.
And so that's really cool things like during certain like seasons, like
forgot
during the
about that
summer,
one.
they'll have new skins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Why don't you start? It's your question.
I love Super Sentai Genji. I know he gets a lot of flack for it.
Green Ranger Genji.
Yeah, I love it. It looks so cool to me. It looks so cool. But next to like the Oni one, where you get from
Oni from-
Hero of the Storm.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah,
play
I
Hero of
really
the Storm,
want
you
that
got
one.
that.
My favorite Genji one's the Blackwatch Genji.
No,
Oh,
I
it's
don't like
so
it.
badass.
Like the tubes, I don't like. I'm not a fan of the tubes.
love it.
Like that's why I don't like Cyborg
76.
76.
Yeah.
And I kind of don't like old school Hanzo or the anniversary Hanzo, Cyborg, or was it like?
Oh, you're the Cyborg Hanzo with
Yeah.
the like
It's kind of
orange
cool.
mask.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
I love that one. That's probably my favorite one.
I really like Junkrat's Joker skin where he looks like the fucking Joker.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like,
yeah.
oh my god.
They put that in Heroes of the Storm too.
I have to have that. And I was really mad with Heroes of the Storm. They had a Zarya skin which looks super dope. It's like a cyberpunk looking thing too, and it looks like
Oh yeah,
Tron.
yeah.
And I
Oh,
was
they
like,
had that in the game.
they didn't have it in Overwatch.
They did. Yeah, they did.
I'm pretty sure they don't.
I'm like 90%
There's-
sure it's there.
There's like a gothic one.
It's not the same one.
not the same one.
I
Oh,
can
okay.
guarantee it's not the same one because I would have gotten that real quick. And that's the cool thing I love about Overwatch is like when a new skin comes, like I need to have it. So like when they had the Chinese New Year one,
have it.
when they had the Chinese New Year one, and they had like everyone from the Journey to the West.
Oh yeah.
So they had like the Monkey Kings and Zenyatta, right?
No.
It was Monkey King, Winston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they had
Zenyatta was like the three faces.
Yeah.
The Reinhardt skin from that
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
was so good.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The
And then-
Halloween Reinhardt skin was cool.
Yeah, and Halloween
The
skins.
blue flaming
Yeah.
head.
I like this year's Halloween one because they had the Reaper, which was a Dracula.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's super. Oh, it's so good.
I am. I'm like the little brother listening to his older brother's friends talk about
I would
things.
say my favorite
Adult stuff.
Yeah.
My favorite skin is probably either the Hanzo one from whatever when he's got the orange ninja
The
stuff.
anniversary
Oh
edition.
my god, loved that. I had to have that skin. Played hours to get that thing, and it was the last box I opened, and I was like, thank God. Or I really like. Oh man, I'm going between either a Reinhardt skin,
Yeah, Reinhardt has some really good.
I
Bloodheart
really
and
like
Blackheart and
Lionheart,
Lionheart's
the gold.
with
I
his.
something
I don't
about
like it
that.
with. I don't like it with his helmet's off.
Oh, I love with his helmet off.
Wow.
I love it. Or the I really enjoy the whatchamacallit, the biker Torbjorn.
Oh, okay.
I really think that's funny.
I like
That's
Santa
my
Claus
favorite one.
Torbjorn.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Santa Claus Turbulence really good.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm surprised you don't like Skullyatta.
I don't have it. I don't want to talk about it. It's my favorite one, and I'll never.
I
have
just
it.
got it.
It's great. That's fine.
I love Widowmaker's skin where she's like the French like dancer looking thing,
Oh,
like the gothic one.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. It was
That
in
one's
the
really
Origins pack.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked Mercy's Devil one.
Mercy's Devil
I
one.
have that one.
I still to this day regret not getting Mercy's Witch.
That's the
Costume?
first one I
I
got.
don't have that.
I love that one, but I never I missed it both years.
I have her Omnic Crisis one, where she's all blue with like the.
Oh, where
cross.
she's like
yeah.
straight up
She's
nurse.
like nurse, yeah.
Nurse
I love
Joy.
that one. I use and her staff is like a big syringe at the end.
Yeah.
I use that one all the
But
time.
I think my favorite skin is Cruiser Diva.
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, the 50s like throwback.
Super good.
I love that skin.
See, and I mean, do we talk about loot boxes and the whole controversy with that
Yeah,
shit?
I want to talk
What
about
was
this
that?
for a few minutes.
Tell me.
So you know, in like Destiny, you get if you beat something, you get drops, and you get random
Yeah.
shit, and you keep playing, and the better you play, the better drops you get.
Yeah.
And it's kind of skill based, but it's also kind of like time based.
Yeah.
Okay.
Overwatch, purely luck,
pure luck.
purely.
It's
luck.
essentially gambling.
Well, I mean,
It's kind of like playing
there
a slot
is
machine.
there
like-
is that stuff now in Destiny 2 as well, which is currently as of
Under-
the posting of this thing is kind of like under a little bit of fire, but
yeah, as rightfully so. I mean, there was
But
that huge
this is
thing
the
with
only
EA's.
way to get an item.
Yeah,
Like you can't. There's no like other than like doing the
Same.
the weird stuff with like go play Heroes of the Storm, connect your Blizzard account,
Yeah,
and then you
right.
get this
Right.
skin, which is like
yeah, like Diablo. Diablo 3, I connected my Blizzard account to my PSN account.
Yeah.
And I got presents.
Yep. But like that's a little different. So in Overwatch, the only way for you to unlock things is to open these loot boxes.
Okay.
And you can get a loot box by doing some of the daily stuff in arcade for the
Every
week.
time you go up a level, you get a loot box.
Okay.
Every time you could do, there's
You
a
can
week.
pay for them,
Every
right?
week, right?
You could buy them too.
Oh, geez.
But the thing is,
It's
you
every
buy
3 for 9.
That's right.
Every
what it
third
is.
one you get a loot box. You play 9 games, you get 3 loot
in a
boxes
week.
in a
And
week.
those are for the arcades.
I do that in a day.
Or
Yeah,
Okay.
It's easy to get through it.
or you play the ones that are specific that give you one specific that give you one for winning,
Or you pay money.
or you pay money. And
Jeez.
every season, every holiday season, I pay $40 to get that fucking like 50 pack.
Oh
And
damn.
It's just like,
Mhm.
please God, give me just here's some blues.
The
Here's
worst
some grays.
feeling in the world is when you open it and it's 4 duplicates. And you're like, what the fuck?
They're all dupes.
Which happens a lot. The more you get into it, the more that happens. Like I'd say every third chest of mine is 4
Yeah.
duplicates.
And
Were we
each-
talking about this while playing Diablo one night? Of like, the game knows.
yeah,
game
it's
knows.
like
You
in
just
Diablo,
pray to RNGesus. You pray to-
Diablo,
you
you
pray
were
to
rolling
RNGesus.
for like set pieces, and I swear to God, if I was rolling for another set, I'd get the one I was rolling for at the time, like vice
Yeah.
versa.
Yeah. So
Sometimes Dustin and I joke, we're like, we should just go for the other set, and we'll get what
Yeah.
we need.
Let's
Yeah.
mentally choose that we're going to go for this. And
the
we'll
idea
get
is
everything
that
else.
they're all cosmetic. So there's like two
so
discussions.
there's no real
really.
benefit except for that you look badass.
Right.
Okay.
So there's two discussions where it's like one is for the games that include things that are, like help you get better at the game or be better at the game, which is
Okay.
like pay to win. That
Like
whole
that's
idea.
what happened with Battlefront 2.
That's
is
what happened with
the
Battlefront
stuff
2.
behind loot boxes were things you needed to be better at the game.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why they were getting such flack because
Yeah. Right.
you had to pay to play. You had to pay to play.
Or
You didn't have
put
to,
in,
but you could put in the hours. But they did like the math, and it's like
it's like 2 months to unlock
Hundreds
your
of hours
first
to
hero
unlock,
or
yeah.
something like
Oh,
that.
jeez.
And even then, it's you don't know which one you'll get.
right.
Oh, wow.
So there's that whole argument, and then there's the argument of loot boxes, even for just purely cosmetic. Is it like a good business practice? Is it gambling? Is it?
It is
taking
gambling.
advantage
It's
of
a- I mean, like,
kids?
It's
100%
100% gambling,
Yeah.
and there's been
because you
I
have
mean,
no agency on what you're gonna get.
Right.
You literally have no agency of what you're gonna get, and that's for an MMORPG. Like I'm a completionist. Whenever like I want to complete one guy down, one guy's like I want to get
Yeah.
all the cool skins, and then I'll get all the other shit later on when I want to. Like I'm doing that shit right now with Metal Gear Solid. I'm completing all the side missions. I'm doing all the things I need to do before I
take
actually
you
finish my
forever.
actual campaign.
Now, I am in, and maybe this is just because we are from that generation who remembers when we bought a game, we would get the whole game.
Oh, you remember?
Remember that? Remember when
Remember?
when you pay $60 to?
And you got a whole game?
And then when you beat the game, another game.
I mean,
unlocks
it
another
goes
game.
back to our Destiny episode where my issue with the game was that I paid $60 and then they wanted me to pay another 30 and another
Yep.
30 for more of the game.
Yeah.
So with loot boxes, for me, I would be happy to see them go.
It's not as bad because Overwatch will add patches, add new maps, add new stories without you paying. But
Right.
then the whole like you can't get new shit without having to like gamble.
yeah.
Here's where also what we need to kind of like from a fundamental level, what we need to establish. The film industry has had the advantage of like being old. And so over time, we know that movies cost millions, like hundreds of millions of dollars to make. We see where the money goes. You know, you watch the credits, all that stuff. The argument is, at least from a development
I
standpoint,
see what you mean.
is
Yeah,
that the developers are saying, for the most part, not any specific, that the games are still $60. They've been that for a while. If you take inflation into account, maybe they should have gotten more expensive in the last 10 years because like it's the same price that they were 10 years ago. Should games be more expensive? Developers are saying that this is helping them
develop more.
more
Yeah.
content. The games are getting more spectacle based.
right.
Stories that
more.
go
They're-
beyond just the regular the game.
Like Destiny has like a $500 million budget or whatever, which was the rumor or whatever. And it's like, is that legitimate?
Okay.
Is that a legitimate thing, or is that an excuse to make more money?
Well, like as far as the line goes, if it's cosmetic, great.
Yeah.
I'm cool with if you want to make some bucks off selling cosmetic shit. That's awesome. I think go for it. I mean that's always been the point of DLC to me. Was always like, hey, it's not anything that's going to help you play any better, but if you want these cool guns or if you
It's
want
like
these
the deluxe
cool...
edition of Halo stuff. You just got like a helmet. You got
Yeah, right. I'm
Warhog.
totally cool with that. But the fact that we're moving into an era where microtransactions are things you actually need to play the game, or like for me, like if Destiny wants to release loot boxes that have skins or color patterns or whatever, that's fine. But the
Shaders.
fact that I had to pay another $60 to get the rest of the story of the game is where I kind of
Yeah.
draw the line, I guess.
I get that.
And that
totally
kind
get
of that's also the same topic as like DLC. where it's like I paid $60 for the game. Why am I paying another $30 for more of the game that maybe includes content that was removed from the main game to sell me later? Like, what's that whole situation? So I think there's a lot of like weird, because sadly there are some like shady examples of it where it did end up being shady business, and then there's some like genuine things. Like I think probably Breath of the Wild is probably a good example of like legitimate DLC where the developers, that's like a cohesive experience. You know, there's no complaints, and then afterwards they made more stuff.
Yeah, and I'm cool with that.
World.
Yeah,
or like Fallout. Fallout has like legit DLC.
And this,
where it's like,
this isn't the episode.
It's an addition.
Yeah, this isn't the episode for it, but I think a really quote unquote a bad way execution of it was like how Smash Bros started doing it. Smash Bros. All their characters they added are now you have to purchase them. You don't unlock them.
yeah, that's weird.
Because before you establish the mechanic that you unlock your characters, now buy it. It's like,
now you have to buy them.
Yeah, and if they wanted to sell, like I said, like different skins, like a different Mario skin or whatever beyond the color choices you already have.
Yeah.
Dope.
Get the
make it an option.
The Mario Sunshine look versus get the Mario Galaxy look. Yeah.
For me, the whole problem is like I want to be able to earn the same stuff, even if it's just cosmetic. I want to be able to earn the stuff at a reasonable rate.
Yeah,
the whole reasonable rate thing. That's where it gets.
That's your key word. Your
that's the key word.
Phrase. Like
reasonable to who?
Yeah.
I know we're going on a slippery slope of all this game stuff. I think a good button up just before we end the episode. Maybe something we can talk about is our favorite best moment we've had playing the game.
Woof.
Not returning it and getting your Baskin Robbins. But
in Overwatch?
I can go.
Okay.
So we talked about arcade and how. So the cool thing about arcade that they have specialized matches where like it's based around a certain shtick, right? My favorite one was when it was called This Is Ilios, going off of This Is Sparta, and all you could play is with Lucio and Roadhog. And This Is Ilios, the map is the one where there's a big hole in the center of the map. So just like in Sparta, where you kick the guy in the all you do is really just push people into it. So Lucio has this like this boombox blast, and you could bounce people into the hole. Or you have Roadhog, and you have people from across the hole, and you just hook them and then pull them and then let them drop into it. It is one of the greatest, like, best feelings in the world when you get a good hook and you just drop someone. You're like,
the funny thing is, when I was on the other side of that for the first time, I was like, what happened? And my buddy explained, he's like, oh, Roadhog pulled you in and then just let you drop. And I was like, that's so cheap. That sucks. And then I got on the other side of it and I was like, ha! And I got like 30 kills. It's like, fuck you, I was like, get over here, get over here, get over here.
It's so rewarding. It feels so good when you just like hook them to like, ugh. You see them stop in motion.
Did you just pull over Scorpion?
Oh, when with Roadhog, I do it every time.
Get over here.
When I'm playing the game, you can ask anyone who's played with me. Every time I do it, I go, get over here.
Awesome.
Johnny Cage.
I see that now where I'm like, I see the Roadhog like trying to get across from
dancing
me
around the edge.
and it's like,
I was like, exactly.
Anyway, sorry.
Jurassic Park.
that was also that was a reference.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Say the magic words.
That's one of the greatest moments. But then also a good moment is when you're playing that and you're a Lucio, and then he doesn't hook you correctly, and then you could just skate your way back up.
Yeah, I've seen that happen too.
Because
I've
Lucio
never
could
done
unlimited
it,
skate. I was like, oh my god, and you're kind of like, and you see people like trying to shoot at you. And you're like,
have you guys enabled, by the way, as Lucio? Have you guys enabled backwards skating?
Yeah,
it's an opt-in.
Ooh,
it's amazing.
No, I haven't.
It's amazing.
It changes
skating
everything.
backwards and shooting at someone is the best.
Backwards
feeling.
and like
that sounds
so
scary.
good.
But anyways, that's one of my favorite moments I've ever had. But I mean, so I don't. It's not a pissing contest.
No,
but
not at all.
One of my like top feats that I was like, fuck yes. I was playing a regular arcade quick play, and my highest elimination, I think by record, is like 42 eliminations with Torbjorn.
Nice.
And it was on the Hollywood map, and it was right on that bridge. Right on that bridge. Oh, wait, no, not Hollywood. Which is Route 66?
Route 66?
Yeah, it's right on that bridge, right at the beginning.
The top bridge.
Yeah.
Really tall one.
And I just stayed there the entire time. I was like, okay, cool.
They
and
didn't get past that.
No, and then I'm just shooting down there and throwing gear, armor. I was like 44 eliminations. Yeah.
Dope. Josh, what's your greatest moment Overwatch?
When you didn't die? Anytime I don't die. Thank you. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
You're included,
Hold my hand.
bud.
Nice.
You understand.
Nice. Mine was the 28 elim Farah, just because that was the most memorable.
Is that one of those moments where
everyone ignored me?
I am a golden god.
Yeah,
I have ultimate weapon.
It made it to my YouTube channel.
Nice.
So if you want to go look for it, I have like a handful of Overwatch videos you can go.
I am gonna go watch that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mine was a Hanzo moment. I think it's the airport.
Wait,
so you know towards the end, there's that tunnel that they have to come through to get
Which
to the
map?
end. I think it's the airport, the Omnic.
Oh, New Bonnie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the little mini
There's that little tunnel they come through right before the end
Oh,
of the
yeah.
map where it has to like turn right.
That's a little choke right before a point.
So they were, bouncing back and forth behind the thing, pushing it forward, and my team was going for it, and I was seeing my team get shot left and right. And
Were
my
you defense or attack?
defense?
Okay.
So I'm on the other side of the tunnel. It's starting to come through the tunnel, right? And I see a few people die, and then my ultimate gets there, and I'm like, yeah,
You're in defense.
I'm on defense. That's Hanzo. And I do it, and I shoot it, and I didn't get it quite to take up the whole tunnel. So it's off to the left of the tunnel looking a little bit. So the whole team runs to the right of the tunnel and avoids my ulti.
Scatter shot.
Yep. And I just take the scatter shot to the other side, just team kill. It was the best feeling in the world. It was the best feeling in the world.
That's really good.
That was
it.
where the
Cleaning
that
up
was
a
where
mistake.
My 28 Olympics.
Yeah.
That
Same spot.
choke.
Same spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We're on defense.
it felt great.
Fair on
Because a
defense.
few of them got hit. So their health wasn't all the way up, and I just scatter shot it.
It's nice when you can clean up a mistake.
Oh yeah.
When you're like,
Yeah.
oh shit, no. Oh,
And I was like,
wait.
But you play it off like I totally meant to do
I said that.
I'm like, I'm so G.
I was playing with Dustin and Mikey. They're like, that was great. I was like, I meant to do that. I moved them all to one side.
I've had some really awesome team kills. A couple of times I've been able to pull this off with Diva.
Yeah.
It's at Hollywood on attack, and there's the first choke for the first point.
Yeah.
And then I launch my my
And jump
ult
out. Yeah.
over the right side, over the roof,
Oh.
way high
Oh.
up, like right over,
It
like
still
kind of
counts?
directly over the point that they're
Yeah.
defending. So it goes over the roof,
Oh
and
damn.
it kind of comes right perfectly on top of the first point. Boom. Team kill.
That's awesome.
Take the
Those
point,
are
you're
always
done.
great with Diva, especially since you can launch it.
Yeah.
You're kind of like, Jesus, take
I
the
always
wheel.
launch it.
And then all of a sudden it's like, did it kill? It's all of a sudden kill. Like, hell yeah, baby. So,
Well, let us
the
know who
wheel.
your favorite Overwatch characters,
Favorite skin.
moments. Tag us if you
Yes.
post your favorite moments on your Instagram.
Yeah.
Tag us in it. We'd like to see it.
favorite
Where
maps,
should they?
maybe?
Where should they tag us, Josh? Exactly.
You can tag us on a number of things. You can get us on Instagram. That's probably where we're the most active, I think. Maybe that and Twitter.
Slip and slide to our DMs, please.
Yeah, you can go to Instagram, Nerd on the Podcast. Twitter, we are Nerd on the Pod. Facebook, we post there. We're not as active, but we'll get there. Facebook, just search us, Nerd on the Podcast. YouTube, not big boys yet, so you do have to search us. We're almost there. We're almost big boys.
Have your friends subscribe.
Subscribe. Tell your friends. They're your friends' moms and roommates
Yeah.
and everything.
If you want
friends-
to
your
help
friends'
us
children.
out a little bit, we have a little donation button. We'd like to do this for a living someday. We can't yet.
That would be awesome if
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
show paid for itself.
Yeah.
So, but you can find that donate link at nerdonthepodcast.com. There's a survey there where you can tell us a little bit about yourself. We've got a few entries on that. Kind
Nice.
of break down our audience, see what's out there.
Thank y'all for taking the time.
Yes, thank you so much for listening. I mean, seriously, you're the reason why we're here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a very important thing about our website is there's something new that we have launched.
Yeah.
That is our Patreon. We launched it a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
And it is up. And we already have some patrons. So thank you,
guys.
everybody.
We'll have
Thank you for supporting the show.
some stuff for y'all's. There's some cool
Yeah.
rewards on there. Check it out.
Yeah, check
This
it out.
podcast, as Josh says, does not run itself. We'd like it to. We'd like to do this for a living. We can't
Yeah.
yet.
Not
But
yet.
with your help, we may just get the first step in the door.
Yeah. You can find me on the Instagrams, Joshua S. Manley. You can find me on Twitter, just Josh and you. You can find me on Facebook. I welcome friends there. You can find me on IMDb,
Yeah.
Joshua Sterling. I have a stage name.
And if they need a McCree on their team and you're on PlayStation,
Yes,
where
I'm
can
on
they find you?
PlayStation, Sterling J85. And now I am on Xbox.
Yes!
That's happening.
And Tom is going to hate me so much.
But I love
Oh my
you, so it's
God,
fine.
because his stupid Xbox name.
Is it?
It is just Josh and you, 85.
Yes!
Actually, fun story. I set that up like years and years ago when I was playing Fallout 3 and Fable.
Oh, fuck. I love Fable.
Right?
Yeah, it's on Xbox, Tom.
Yeah. But I'm also on Blizzard. I think it's Sterling J85 with some hashtag number, blah, blah, blah.
We'll
but,
figure it out. We'll
yeah.
post it
It's
somewhere.
called pound sign.
Pound sign. Pound sign.
Pounded.
Pound me? Oh.
Fingers and pies.
Please move forward.
Next person.
Next person, please. Tom.
This is Tom at Tall Dark Not Ugly on everything. All the same social medias that Josh just mentioned. Find my professional stuff at Thomas Pet Borisuth on like YouTube, Vimeo, IMDb. And the comic book stuff that I like to talk about is on Capes Crusaders at iTunes and on their website. But the stuff I work with Corey is on...
At We Are Storyboard, BORED, or wearestoryboard.com. You can find me on the Instagrams at Corey89, or even on the Xboxes at Corthaniel, that's CORTHANIAL. Come play some Overwatch.
Awesome. Ali, you can find me on Twitter at FutureFoe. You can find me on Twitch /FutureFoe. And you can find me on YouTube at FutureFoe Plays. And as I mentioned, I do have some videos on Overwatch if you want to see me own in Overwatch. And also not be so great at Overwatch on keyboard and mouse. I do have a dedicated playlist for all my Overwatch videos, so you can come give that a look.
Sweet.
Nice.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for everybody at home for listening and subscribing and rating and reviewing. But as always, nerd on.
Ending broadcast.